Hey bakers, it's Kristen from Wicked Goodies, here to tell you my most embarrassing cake delivery disaster stories from my career. Starting with story number 1, which was my 3rd ever wedding cake, by which point I thought that I was a pro and I didn't need help and I knew how to do it because I had already done it right twice, which was not at all the case. Here's a picture of that cake. There's quite a number of things wrong with it. The fillings are bulging. I've left it in the sun. I've taken a photo, my only photo, in front of the sink with dirty rags in the background. But worst of all, I piled whole berries on top of the cake before transport. So I remember it was a beautiful day and I didn't want to have to deliver the cake because I wanted to go to the beach. So I did the cake in the morning and left it for someone else to deliver. And by the time I got to the beach, the phone call came and the person said, "Major problem, berry avalanche. The berries jiggled around during transport and they fell down the sides of the cake and gouged holes in the frosting. The cake looks like Swiss cheese," is what she said. "You need to come fix this right away." Well, I was so far away from the event at that point that I had to call my boss and beg him to go fix the cake. And he was none too pleased. So lesson learned, don't pile stuff on top of a cake before delivering it if it's not secure. Story number 2. The first time I ever delivered 2 wedding cakes. Again, pretty early on in my career, and I had not yet learned how to secure cakes on the surface of your vehicle so that they don't slide around. So these 2 cakes smashed into each other in the back seat of the car. It was an SUV, and so it was that back area. I heard it happen. I heard this smoosh sound and I pulled over, and what a mess. I had to do a spackle job on the side of the road to fix both of these cakes. Fortunately, at both events the cakes were up against the wall so I could hide the messed up sides. Another lesson learned, secure your cakes using contact grip liners. So story number 3 was the first time I ever delivered 5 wedding cakes at once. I remember being so pleased with myself as I pulled out of the bakery parking lot with the refrigerated box truck full of cakes, thinking, no way is anything gonna go wrong because I've got this awesome truck for delivering the cakes. Well, what I didn't anticipate was that I was gonna accidentally go to the last location first, which made me late for all the subsequent deliveries because it was very far away. And as soon as I made that delivery, I realized my mistake and I started to panic. And you know what happens when you panic? I got hot and sweaty and I couldn't really think straight. So I was in such disarray when I arrived at the second event that I set up the wrong cake. And I'll never forget the look on the event manager's face when she saw it. She said, "No, Kristen, that's not the cake!" So I had to quickly take it down and set up the correct one, which set me even more behind. So by the time I got to the 4th wedding, the guests were already eating dinner as I was setting up the cake, and the 5th wedding, which took place on a cruise ship, was about to pull out of the dock when I pulled into the parking lot. So I was running through the parking lot with the cake on my shoulder, yelling at the guys on the boat to hold up the ship so that I could get there in time with the wedding cake, which I did. And so I thought, phew, okay, I did it. At least I got all the cakes there in one piece. But then when I arrived back at the bakery, my boss was waiting for me and she was very angry because somebody had seen me driving recklessly on the road and with the box truck, which in fairness, yeah, I was speeding to the weddings to get those cakes there in time, but they had made a complaint about my driving. So needless to say, I learned a lot of things the hard way, and that's part of the process of cake delivery, is learning by trial and error. But I don't want these problems to happen to you in your cake business. I'd prefer you learn from my mistakes. So I have written a book that includes everything I learned about cake delivery and the process of making over 1,000 wedding cakes successfully. Here is a brief rundown of the book's contents. how to prepare your vehicle for cake transport, how to assemble stacked cakes using wood dowels. There are 2 short video tutorials on how to insert support dowels in a 3-tier cake, how to deal with extreme weather conditions, how to navigate an event venue, and how to stay cool in a cake crisis. If you want to learn more about the book Cake Splat, check out the details I've included below, and thanks for watching my video.